Welcome, welcome. We are back for another episode of the Tech Behind FinTech. I'm the host of the Tech Behind FinTech. My name is Nnamdi Osuagwu, also the CEO of Strategic Generation, which this show is sponsored by. Exciting news. So we're going to talk about the news of the week in regards to certain things that's happening in the blockchain world and certain FinTech and banking stuff. We're going to start the show by kicking it off with the news on Ethereum. There was an upgrade, and I want to get into that. I want to talk about that. I want to just dive deep to around what the upgrade entailed and talk to our audience about that. Let me hold up. I think for some reason I am echoing. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I don't think you guys hear it. Let me turn my comments on. Happy Friday, everybody. If you're tuning in, definitely let me know that I'm not alone out here. Drop a comment or two. It's always appreciated, and the interaction. Let's start with the first news article of the day that we just saw. So Ethereum just activated what they're calling the London hard fork. So what that essentially means is they upgraded the blockchain, and it's a fork. So they added this code to it. So it's basically like a new, like, upgrading software, for lack of a better words, on the particular blockchain. So I want to get into some topics of what that exactly means and some bullet points that I put up there that I would like to go over. So the first, there's the technically is called EIP 1559. So what does that mean? It's like the Ethereum Improvement Protocol. They named it London. They based it on DevCon city names. So DevCon 1 took place in London. So they just named it, AKA, EIP 1559. The London hard fork sounds a lot better. So this isn't the major upgrade that we talked about earlier. The major upgrade is going to, change the consensus model, going from proof of work to proof of stake. This isn't that, but this is still a significant change. So with Ethereum, what happens is when transactions are on the chain, it's something called gas fees you pay, right? Because it's a lot of processing power to put different transaction fees on. I'm not sure where the hell this echo is coming from, but it's kind of annoying. But it's something in my background I hear. So essentially, yeah, so they have a concept called miners. The whole concept of a decentralized system is you have various nodes and miners across the world that have copies of the Ethereum code, and they have to actually run processing power in order to put that. Everything, no one's doing this for free. So the miners charge, and what they have is this concept called gas. So previously, this gas fee was a little bit unpredictable. It's based on a kind of a bidding, and depending on if it's high volume or low volume, your price can fluctuate. So the London hard fork basically changed that. So now what you're going to have is you're still going to have the gas price, but it's going to be how did they say it? It's pretty good. It's not going to go directly to the miners. That the gas price now, you'll have an update of what that will cost. So it's a little bit more instead of an auction or guessing game, kind of have an idea of what the will cost, in terms of the people that are putting stuff onto the chain and will pay for that. So you have a smart contract, for instance. What goes to the miners directly is a tip. So it's like tipping a waiter, right? If you increase your tip, they could prioritize it, but they're separating it right now. So I think that means less money for the miners, but it helps the users out. Let me just to get an explanation, let me read it directly. So gas price. So previously they said gas price represented both the ETS paid by the signer per gas for a transaction, as well as the ETH received by the miner per gas. As of this change, gas price now only represents the amount of ETH paid by the signer per gas, and the amount to the miner that was paid for the transaction is no longer accessible directly on the EVM. So, like I said, but they're still going to get paid. They have this concept of a tip that you can pay the miner. So that's an extremely significant change if you think about it, but it's not as significant as 2.0 basically that's going to come either in 2022 or in end of this year. Not exactly sure of the date. Some more stuff, right? So over the past 12 months, if you look at last year, which is crazy, I didn't even know this stat, but Ether, the price of Ethereum rose 590% in the past year. To put that in comparison to Bitcoin, Bitcoin tripled. They rose 590%, which is like crazy. So what else happened? What else we want to talk about with the London hard fork? Oh yeah, so let me move down. Next slide. So we talked about nodes earlier. Just want to kind of show the screen. So you basically you can see on the screen, right? Those are nodes, there are about 8,988 nodes represented all across the world. And this information can be found on, I think, Etherscan. If you Google it, let me see if I can give you guys a link to it, where I get this information from. There's a lot of like good information, whether it's ethereum.org. Okay, yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna post a link on. So here's a technical link for the London hard fork and the changes. I'm gonna put that in the comment section so you guys can read it. There's obviously like tons of news articles about it. I'm gonna type it right now. London hard fork. Okay, let's see. I'm putting it. All right. I don't think the comments going because we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. For some reason on this platform that I use, the comments go on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. On LinkedIn, I think I need to put that comment in directly. So I'll look into that. So you guys probably won't see that link. What I'll do is consolidate the links throughout the show, and I'll just go on the LinkedIn live and just post it in the comments afterwards. But yeah, so you wouldn't see this if you're not on LinkedIn. But anyway, I just posted a comment in terms of the link for the London hard fork. It's on ethereum.org. So if you just Google EIP 1559, you can find it. So yeah, I found this interesting when you think about all the clients throughout the world and the nodes, and you can see who's leading from the US. Germany second. I didn't really know that, but all this information is publicly available. But it's interesting to look at it, like throughout when we're preparing for this show, we definitely research, dive deeper into it in terms of like some articles, and we dive deeper into it. So let's go to the next slide. So yeah, so this slide is really representing the merge. This is different from the London hard fork that just happened. This merge is Ethereum 2.0, which we're going to go from proof of stake to proof of work to proof of stake, which will significantly improve processing power and energy consumption. So, just to give the audience an idea of what we're talking about right here, right? So that is going to be, so a couple of things happen with this London hard fork. Definitely increase the confidence that upgrading the system and the merge it can definitely go through. Obviously, Ethereum 2.0 represents a significant change compared to the London fork, but this is an idea of what's going on. You can read the screen of what's going on with the merge, the upcoming merge in the future. So it's just various upgrades. This was one. So it's definitely things to look out for. And just to educate the audience, if you don't like, proof of work basically is so when you post something to the chain, like I said before, like miners take care of that processing power. Whichever miner posted, they get a reward, right? So it's obviously financially beneficial. Same thing with the Bitcoin network. They use the proof of work consensus model. So it's basically they're trying to solve this very complex mathematical puzzle. So that's how that works, right? So it's tons of processing power. Earlier on, we talked about this big thing around uh, energy consumption and people rebelling against it. But moving to proof of stake will significantly reduce that. In our past episodes, we got into it. And in proof of stake, essentially, those same validators, they actually put up their own crypto. And basically, they said the network selects the winner based on the amount of crypto each validator has in the pool and the length of time they've had it in. So literally rewarding the most invested participants. So it's definitely a whole different consensus algorithm or model. You see if we have any comments. So yeah, look, listen, if you have any questions, please like post it. Let's get into it. If not, or even comments, in regards to what's going on. How do you feel about the Ethereum? Are you an Ethereum user? I mean personally, I think platforms like Ethereum, Cardano, like where you can have smart contracts. So, it's blockchain functionality and use cases. And we talked about DeFi earlier, and it's actually the crypto involved with that. So it's kind of two separate. If you think about a lot of people, majority of people you talk to, they're invested in, they talk about the crypto aspect, which that is definitely significant. But there's a whole other aspect in regards to use cases on the blockchain, and that could revolve around smart contracts. It could revolve around DeFi, dApps, decentralized applications on it. So you actually are deploying software on the chain for a myriad of use cases. So, that is extremely the potential of where that can go is like insane in terms of different verticals that will be impacted. And you think about supply chains, you think about just various things. So, we talk about some of these changes. That's like a big deal. Like, even if, I have tons of conversations with people that don't necessarily believe in crypto. They don't think it's real. And it's really important to differentiate between the crypto conversation and the actual use cases on the blockchain. And I mean, something to look into, definitely smart contracts. Currently in this one professional organization I'm involved in, we're looking at ways to secure smart contract, both in the development phase and deploying it out there and certain best practices. So it's definitely a thing being used in various verticals, a lot in the financial vertical and so forth. So that is it on, I think that's it. I think let's move on to the next article that we saw that we found interesting. So, hey, listen, this one totally I found interesting because let me pull it up because we did a show in the fall, was it? I think it was. They're like, this is a break. Also, guys, this is our 40th episode. So, tons of shows. We've been consistent coming at you every single week. I think we will take off, if I'm not mistaken, September 3rd. We will take off for Labor Day, but we're going to come up a new season September 10th. So definitely look out for that. But the reason I bring that up past episodes, because we did like a random poll on our during one of the shows, because when we have guests on, we usually go with news articles and the topic of the day. And we were asking some of the audience members, when's the last time you went to a bank? And I think it was like 1 out of 10 or 20 people that were on the show at the time that were commenting they went to the bank. So that's why I found this particular stat very interesting. So Bank of America is basically leading the way. 85% of deposits now made digitally at Bank of America are digital. That's I mean, compared to looking at it pre-COVID, and the reason why I pulled this article up, I just think that's the direction that the world in banking is going to go. It's interesting. I think it just fits in with the digital nature of what's going on in terms of, like we just talked about with crypto, with I think COVID definitely was a huge catalyst, what they call a black swan event. But it was gonna go there anyway. But I think it's just expedited the process. But let's go into some stats, right? So as of the beginning of last month, more than 70% of Bank of America clients are actively using digital channels for their needs. Another stat: Bank of America clients use digital channels to schedule a record of 871,000 appointments with financial specialists, up 31% year over year. Over 14 million Bank of American clients, including small business, use Zelle. So if you don't know, Zelle is similar to like a Venmo or Cash App, but it's bank to bank cash transfers that you can use. Zelle is Zelle, and different banks have it. And what that enables you to do is just send money way quicker, like instantaneous quicker, right? Especially if you have a previous relationship with the person you're sending that account to. Bank of America clients sent and received 189 million transfers worth 56.5 billion in Q2 alone. These numbers are insane when you really like take a step back and look at it. Totally insane numbers of just the direction of where banking is going, where digital transactions are going. Totally like mind blowing if you just think about literally like 5 years ago, right? Like you know I'm I remember, mailing checks in to pay bills at one point in my life years ago, right? So where that concept right now is removed. Like I can't think of one bill that I actually put a check in a letter with a stamp and mail right now. Wait, let me think. Nope, none. I literally can't think of any. So everything right now is digital. Even if you think about the recipient getting, because sometimes you can do an online payment, but the bank mails a check on your behalf, but it's all digital right now. Another stat: more than 21 million clients have used Erica, Bank of America's AI-driven virtual assistant, to complete more than 430 interactions. So using Bank of America basically as like just a model, not like saying become a Bank of America client, whether it's using you're at Chase, Wells Fargo, who cares? The whole point is the direction of where the industry is going, and just in general, and even and how some of these incumbent banks are leveraging fintechs and partnering with them to complete more of these transactions. So that's why I found this particular article extremely interesting. All right, let's move on. So next. So this was like really funny to me, right? So there's a stat done, and they said Americans are willing to take pay cuts to never go into the office again. And kind of want to end on that note. I found it interesting. I would love to poll the audience if anybody is can comment on that. Like, if you really think about it, like so the average was like they said 65% of workers who said their jobs could be done entirely remotely were willing to take 5% reduction to stay at home. I mean, I can see that. Even some people even more. I mean, if you think about like the commute, I don't have a stat for the average commutes, but I could just think about from people that I worked with in the past when we went into the office. Some people are commuting 2 hours, you know, door to door, right? So if you commute 2 hours door to door, that's 4 hours a day. You know, that's just vanishing in your commute time. LinkedIn user. Okay, cool. Let's see. Comment, affirm, and synchronous work is the wave of the future for sure. So let me ask you a question. What is your bottom line? Like, how much of a pay cut, if you had to take a pay cut, would you take if you had that option? If your employer was like, listen, those who want to work from home, we're gonna have to reduce your pay. What's that bottom line? Is it 5%, 10%, 20% to never go into the office again? I'm real curious It's my good friend Medina is a LinkedIn user. Thanks for the comment. But let me but post that comment. I'm curious. What is the well, maybe you don't want to post that comment because you don't want people to see it, but what's the bottom line? Like, how much is your time worth? Like if you're commuting door to door 2 hours and that's 4 hours a day, you're killing, right? So that's about on a 5-day work week, that's easily 20 hours, right? On a, if you're looking at it, ro- excuse me, if you're looking at it from a monthly basis, 80 hours killing on just commuting. So I found that stat like totally fascinating that people are actually willing to take a pay cut to work from home. In the my sector, more so, technology, where we're not a lot of people are not willing to take a pay cut. They're like, listen, I could literally do whether it's security, whether it's development, I can do it remotely. Not only don't then I might not taking a pay cut, I actually want more money. Uh, so that's but I just found because obviously this stat is not sector by sector, this is just overall. So found that very, very interesting. So listen, on that note, those were the topics I wanted to discuss. So what did we discuss today? Just a high level. The Ethereum upgrade, that's huge, really. If you're following crypto, following blockchain movements, this upgrade is huge. It's gonna definitely the next one is gonna be even bigger. It's a total bigger deal. Cool. We have another comment before we're gonna close out. Let's see. Lambert of Butchula, my guy. All right, if you have expenses to commute to work, it might be worth it. Look, I think so. I mean, the one thing, if you look at, thanks for, oh, by the way, thanks for that. Post that again. Let me thank him officially. Thank you for commenting. Definitely appreciate it. I mean, if you really like break it down, you could always make, well, in a perfect scenario, everybody has potential to make money, right? You do not, and no one has discovered how to do this yet. You cannot buy your time back at all. You get a certain amount in your lifetime, and every day, every second that passes reduces that number. So if your commute's crazy and you're given this option, is really like how much is your time worth? Whether that time is being spent on family, whatever you want to do, that's your time, but how much is it worth? So I definitely think it's an interesting proposal. That's why I posted it was an interesting stat. Appreciate the comment, both Medina and Lambert. Thank you very much. So yeah, so that's really wrapping up today's show. What we talked about, the Ethereum upgrade, which is huge. They call it the London fork, EIP 1559. We posted it up. Yeah, we posted it up. Look out for Ethereum 2.0. That's going to be a very interesting. Matter of fact, let me give you guys the page where that's being talked about. I'll put it in the comments, and like afterwards, like I said, I'll go on LinkedIn and I'll post all these links. For some reason on this platform I'm using, it's not shooting to LinkedIn. So kind of a double work, I'm a technologist, so I hate double work, but it's all good. So I just posted the more info on the Ethereum 2.0. It's from Ethereum .org, same place with the EPA. You could find a lot of information there. But listen, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. We are here every single week, Fridays at 12 p.m. Add it to your calendar. We always post. Some weeks we do it solo, some weeks we have guests. But definitely every week we would start with the news of the week and some interesting articles that we found interesting. Obviously, we're not covering a full gamut. I'll have you here for like hours if I did that. So on that note, thank you very much for your time today. Definitely appreciate it, and have a wonderful weekend. I know I'm going to try to do my best to have a great weekend as well. So take care. I'm out.